Welcome back, all my 40K fanatics out there. I'm DJ here with Tim's Nation to bring you another Warhammer 40K battle report. A keen eye may notice that we have no Necron terrain on the table.
I'm totally bewildered. I don't even know if I'm in your house. Like, this is so weird.
Well, you can tell you're still in my house because we still got this brick wall back here.
The brick.
Yeah, we're going to be working on that. That's my next phase for it. Making a couple moves. We just got a brand new computer to start running the system. I got a couple of buddies who are jumping on to do some editing. We're making waves, guys. We're making waves. And the only best way that we can keep growing is with your subscriptions. That's right. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do. Turn on the bell for notification, get notified on more videos such as this one, as well as other faction-focused videos. Like, share, and comment down below. A lot of your comments help me to determine what games and what other content I'll put up on the channel. So, talk a little bit about this terrain. This terrain is actually all painted, built, and designed by our good buddy Lane here.
Well, I don't know if I designed it. I think GW designed it.
You designed the colors.
This is my collection, right?
Yes.
A lot of Xandri dust went into this this terrain set. So
it is a great looking terrain set, and it has the acrylics are a little tough to see on camera, but if you guys look, there is the clear acrylic bases under the terrain for where the runes are and everything. I mean, honestly, man, this is a great looking set. Thank you very much for bringing it over and having this on the channel. It's going to look great. And the way we deployed the terrain out for today's game is actually for Battle of the Burg. Is what that Battle of the Burg GT.
Bedlam in the
Bedlam at the Burg GT. That's going to be going on at Fabricators Forge, April 18th,
15th and 16th,
15th and 16th, 15th and 16th, and that's where I will be. And I will probably be taking my Necrons because I've had a lot of success with them and they're doing great. But not bringing the Necrons today. Oh no, no. Today is going to be a Grey Knight. That's going to be a mighty, mighty, mighty Grey Knight. And the Grey Knights are going to be going up against the one and only army that Lane plays. Just kidding.
I played Death Watch last week, and I'm just going into withdrawal, so it's back to Votann.
Well, I can't
It's back to 18 jet bikes. That's all I want to play because it's so good.
Exactly, it is. I want to get your Death Guard on the channel sometime, though, because those things are gorgeous.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, when I start testing out the Space Marines and we're messing around with some of that new stuff, we'll get them on the channel because, man, your Death Guard, they were on Armies of Parade. They looked awesome. They look great. And I definitely want to get those on the channel. Lane's got some beautifully painted army. Him and Brian have some gorgeous looking armies. That's why I love having their stuff on the channel. And we got a bunch of other guys in the area too that have some gorgeous armies. I look forward to getting their stuff on the channel. But speaking about getting stuff on the channel, let's talk about what we're bringing today. Lane,
all right,
let's hear about your Votann.
All right, tonight, per the usual, I am bringing my Leagues of Votann, the Emir Conglomerate. The Emir Conglomerate means that everything in the army gets a 5-up invuln unless it has a 2-up armor save. So that would be the Hearthguard and the Hecatons. They get 4-up invulns. It gives all my guns an extra 4 inches of range. And anytime I shoot at something that has a judgment token on it, when I'm within half range, I get extra AP. And there's going to be a lot of judgment tokens on the table today, I think. So for HQs, I've got a high call. This is an upgraded call. And she has the, let me see here, the Experienced Eye Warlord trait. This just means that she gives out 2 judgment tokens in the command phase. They have to be to 2 different units that she can see. Can't be the same one, but she gives out 2. She also has essentially Space Marine Chapter Master rerolls. She picks 1 core unit within 6 inches and gives that full rerolls for the entire battle round. My next HQ is a Forge Master. This is the upgraded Iron Master, and he has the Warlord trait Master Armorer. This just means that when he heals, he does it for flat 4, flat 3 plus 1 as long as he has some of his robot companions with him. And then also once per battle round, he zeroes out a failed armor save for a vehicle within 6 inches of his unit. In addition to that, of course, he gives a vehicle or core unit plus 1 to hit and shooting. And he also has a pretty decent gun and close combat weapon on himself, so he can do a little bit of damage there. In addition to that, he reduces the cost of 1 War Gear Stratagem by 1 CP once per battle round. Now, my compulsory battlefield role for Arcs of Omen is Fast Attack. I have my big 3 6-man Pioneer, Hearthkin Pioneer jet bikes. Each of these is equipped the same way. Each 6-man squad has 2 rotary cannons as their heavy weapons, And then they have the scanner, the searchlight, and the comms device on them. These guys get a 12-inch pregame move, 12-inch move. They have fly, and the whole squad altogether puts out 48 shots, so they can do a lot of damage. Next, I've got one squad of the Einhir Hearthguard. These are the little Terminators, basically. Their toughness 5, 2 wounds, and they reduce damage by 1. They have 2 guns, a D6 grenade launcher, and a 3-shot Vulcanite pistol that does mortals on 6s to hit. Plus, they are decent in close combat. They have a relic called the Warp Strike. So they have a relic teleport crest that gives them a 12-inch deep strike or deny bubble. Also lets them move through terrain. And once per game, I can pick them up and drop them anywhere on the table in the movement phase, more than 9 inches from an enemy. And then we also have a 5-man squad of the Berserks. These guys love to fight with their sweep attack, which is what I usually go with. They each get 6 swings, strength 5, AP 3, 1 damage. There's also a little grenade launcher guy in there in case he wants to get a few shots off. There's a stratagem associated with that if I hit a unit, I can make it so it fights last. That may come into play in this game. We'll see. And then, of course, we've got 2 of the Hecaton land fortresses. Both of them equipped the same except for the heavy weapon on top. So both of them have bolt cannons all around the Matter autocannon on the back. One has the heavy Magna Rail rifle, and one has the SP conversion beamer. That's it. DJ, what have you got today?
All right, moving over here to the Grey Knights. Today I am doing a Preserver's Brotherhood, which doesn't matter for the stratagem or the Warlord trait. I'm taking it specifically for the Psychic Power, which is a blessing with a warp charge value 6 that gives that unit a 6-up Feel No Pain. If that unit is within 3 inches of an apothecary, that Feel No Pain will be boosted to a 5-up. That combined with the Grey Knight's generic 5-up Feel No Pain versus Mortal Wounds, I'm hoping gives me enough resilience to be able to play the defensive game that I'm looking to play today. Speaking of defensive games that I'm looking to play today, we have a 3-up invuln on our Warlord, Mr. Lord Kalidor Drago. Now, I built this list to be something that is GT focused, where I'm looking at multiple armies in the meta, and I really do think there's some value behind spending 1 command point on Drago to give him his Warlord trait so that he is able to ignore demon saves. So considering that Votann is basically an army of short demons, I'm going to be, just kidding, not ignoring anything today, but this is some of the tech that I'm looking into, as I want this to be a list that's more accompanied for grand tournaments and stuff like that. So Drago, I'm still spending the command point on him to see if it's going to be too much or do I need that CP for the course of the game. Moving over to my next HQs, we have 2 Grey Knight Librarians. So the first one, I'm going to be spending 1 command point on him to give him the sigil that allows him to jump away if he is being shot at. He is going to be the one that's playing the role of the old Grey Knight Terminator model, which we stood these guys next to each other, and the old original pewter Grey Knight Terminator model is actually the exact same size for scale to the Hearthkin Terminators. Moving over to my other librarian, he is the one who is going to have the Psychic Epitome, as well as the Curious of Sacrifice. So he's going to get +1 to his save, a 5-up Feel No Pain all the time, as well as the fact that the Warlord trait I can give himself or another Grey Knight Psyker, such as the other librarian, +1 mortal wound to all of their psychic powers when they cast them. And moving over to the last of my 2 characters, I have 2 apothecaries. Being with that psychic power to be able to boost my Feel No Pain, I don't know if I need 2 of them. I went with 2 today just to make sure I have enough coverage for them. But we'll see how that plays out, if I need to do 2 or if I can string them out for 1. I feel comfortable in the Votann matchup with this, that I can hide a little bit better, so having that second apothecary not to stretch out will help me out a bunch. It'll also be able to, unfortunately, my apothecaries are not chief apothecaries, so I'm going to have to spend some command points in order to bring guys back and to resurrect guys. But hey, we're going to be resurrecting Terminators. And with that being said, segue, I have 2 10-man Terminators. In this picture, I'm only showing 1 of them because the second squad is not fully painted yet. I want to test this out, working on a lot of other stuff for tournaments as well as stuff with the channel. I wasn't able to get these guys ready in time, so I do apologize that they're just primed and I got some silver on them. But we'll get them caught up. And I can also swap them out when other Terminators die. But we have 2 10-man squads of Terminators. Both squads are going to have 2 side cannons in each. I do have 2 hammers in each squad just because I want to be able to have that extra strength in there. And then there's an assortment of other weapons, some falchions, and halberds, warding staves to be able to boost my invuln, and all the good stuff. Moving over into my interceptors, I have 30 of them. So we're going to take 3 10-man squads of interceptors. I'm going to combat squad 2 of them and put some in reserve with that. But most of all, these guys are going to be just my fast objective grab, be able to drop and do some of my secondaries as well as that. Going over the psychic powers real quick that I dropped, Drago is going to have warp shaping as well as psychic, what was it? Empiric amplification. That's what it was. Empiric amplification, warp shaping, and Gate of Infinity. My apothecaries, one has Sanctuary, the other has Gate of Infinity. And both librarians are going to be coming with Purifying Flame as well as Vortex of Doom.
All right, today's mission is number 32 from the Arcs of Omen book, Death and Zeal. I'm pretty sure both of those things will be plentiful on the table today. This is going to be a hold 1, hold 2 mission. Let me see here. The bonus primary, basically you get 2 victory points if you do one of these 2 things, and 3 if you do both. The 2 conditions are hold every objective marker, or control at least one objective marker you did not control at the start of your turn. And then the other one is destroy at least one enemy unit that was within range of an objective marker at the start of their turn.
Yeah, so this is a mission that one thing to throw out there in this one is if you don't feel like you can actually make it onto another objective marker, this is a good one to actually deploy your army off of your home field objective marker so that you can just move on to it and get those 2 extra points at the start of the game. And again, man, I'm able to segue right into new stuff here, talking about scoring points, secondaries for today. So Lane is
I'm
not
so excited.
and you just can't hide it. But let's get Lane's is so uncreative. You're gonna kill and then kill.
Listen, I built my list to kill things, and I was able to take 3 secondaries today. They're all about killing things.
Yes.
I'm taking no prisoners because the whole army gives
12 wounds without
120
wounds without healing,
12
without
points.
any resurrection.
So that's 14 points, and if you resurrect a few, I might be able to get all the way up to 15.
Yep.
Also, taking Assassinate, you gave me 5 characters, so I'm going to love trying to kill them. And then Abhor the Witch, again, just killing things. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is just parking in a corner and trying to kill everything I can.
Oh, so you think, Mr. Lane, because the secondaries I took are going to be trying to not interact with you in the game at all.
What?
I'm going to be taking Purifying Ritual, as well as Raise the Banners, and finally Teleport Strike. While Teleport Strike, I do have to interact with you a bit, that one. It's 5 points every time you do it. It's so good. So good. And then I can just sacrifice something to give you a couple points here. But that's going to be interesting. You're going to be trying to kill me, and I'm going to be trying to say no.
Yeah, but you're taking 2 action-based secondaries, both your psychic action and raising the banner, regular action. So I'm going to be giving you lots of judgment tokens. So the judgment is going to be flying today.
You know what? We're apples and oranges, potatoes and pears. Who was going to be deploying their army first? Odd or even, my friend?
Even.
And that is a 6.
Terrain.
I'm trying. It's styrofoam. We're good. It's foam. You're safe. It's a 6. You said even?
I said even.
You said even, so I'll be deploying first, and we'll be back after deployment. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, we are deployed to give you guys a nice aerial view of this beautiful, beautiful new terrain that we're looking at. And now we will talk about deployments. So for me, the Grey Knights, I did what Grey Knights do best. I found a box and I hid in it. So I'm going to hide in this box. Now for this terrain setup, what we've decided is it's going to be an L. So everything facing forward, thanks, Lane. So that's actually a wall right there.
Yeah, we're going to say that.
So in order for him to be able to shoot the units inside, he's going to have to move over into this area and be able to draw angles through the back of it. So it is going to be an L shape. And these interceptors that are on top are actually down below. I just didn't want to mess with the terrain too much. So everyone's on the ground level. Everyone's hiding. I opted to go onto my home objective because I'm going to try and do some other stuff to be able to get off and get onto a new objective to score my 2 points. And let's go over here to Lane. Lane definitely took a different option on that one.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to shoot my hecatons too much turn 1, so I'm not that worried about them getting tagged. So I wanted to put one of them up there so it could get some mobility and maybe start getting some targets.
If
And
anything,
then,
I'm going to punch them. And I mean, I don't have the most reliable, like long range charge effects.
yeah,
There's some good stuff, but I mean, it would be a suicide play.
yeah,
If I hit and landed, yes, I rip a hackathon off the field, and then everybody looks in the comment section and goes, okay, yeah, the probability is not in my favor on
yeah.
that one.
And then the Pioneers have the 12-inch pregame move, so they're not going to stay where they're at. If you're going to go first, I'll move them around a little bit to make them a little less likely to get shot.
Right. So as far as reserves go, real quick, you have. Let's go with yours real fast.
Yeah, I just put one of the 6-man Pioneer squads in the reserve, and then the Berserks are inside the Hecaton with the conversion beamer on it.
Right on. So for me, I went a little bit deeper with it because I have everything in my army can deep strike. So I combat squatted 2 of my 10-mans, and I'm going to put the Psy cannons with the 5-mans in deep strike to hopefully be able to get that teleport strike points. I'm also putting my 10-man of halberds that I kept them together into deep strike because I like how strong they are and I want to keep them together, and I don't feel like they're going to need to start the game on the field, as well as 1 librarian and 1 apothecary, just so that I'm able to get them in better positions without wasting my Gate of Infinity. So that's basically it. There's only one thing left. Well, there's 2 things left to do. 1, you have a pregame move after I roll that 6 and go first this game. Ready?
Sure, there we go.
Because I want to go first. That's
2.
a 2. Here's my 6. That's a 3. But you know what? A 3 is still greater than 2.
A win's a win.
Thank you, 3rd grade math. And I will be going first. So Lane, go ahead and do your pregame move. All right, so before the Grey Knights get to move, Lane, you did a little pregame move, a little shimmy and a shuffle.
Yeah, these guys are able to jump into the building. I had to put them on the objective based off of my 12-inch pregame move. I would have liked to have been off the objective so I can move on to it on my turn, but I just didn't have the extra movement. I should have deployed them back a little further like that, but that's fine. And then these ones kind of shuffled into the building. I couldn't get them all in there, so obviously there's some exposure over here if you bring something in and Stormbolter and charge and shoot into there.
Yeah, so that's a rough play though. That's a risky play, and I think you're pretty safe with it.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back after the Grey Knight movement phase. All right, so this is a really boring turn, so I'm just going to combine it all into one thing. So for my movement phase, I did basically nothing. I spent 2 command points to shunt move these interceptors over here to get them. Oh, sorry, wiggled. It's okay. To get them over there, so I was able to drop a banner. So I got a banner up and a grudge token on the 5 interceptors. Then I spent another command point just to make sure I could force through the Gate of Infinity and brought the Terminators that were on the objective over here. And then they cast Purifying Ritual because we were still in the psychic phase. That gave them a grudge token. And over here, the Librarian successfully casted Purifying Ritual on this objective, so that earned him a grudge token. And my Terminators just being on an objective gave them a grudge token as well. That Lane was able to select the unit, and that was the unit he selected. These 5 interceptors that hung out back here put a banner up and earned themselves a grudge token. So after all that grudging,
I hate so many things.
After all that grudging, we end the turn. Was a very short, simple turn. I'm going to get 2 points on Purifying Ritual, and that's going to be it. I will get 2 points for taking an objective that I did not control at the beginning of the turn for the additional primary. And on to you, Lane. All right, Lane has finished his movement phase, and most of it's just pushing forward. A little surprised by the Pioneers going to center. I mean, we're here to play some Warhammer. We're here to roll some dice.
Yeah, you're going to hide a whole lot of the game. So if I take the one in the primary in the middle and you don't come out to take me off of it, that's good for me. If you do come out to take me off of it, then you're gonna, you'll kill stuff, but I'll get the kill back.
Yeah, test my defense.
Yep. And then I move these Pioneers over here. Hurricane Pioneers are moving over so they can get some shots. It's tight, but they can shoot these guys here.
Yep. Because again, it's the L shape. So right here, where this like red door is on this piece of terrain, right at this tip, you can see that's where it cuts off. So even though there's a wall here, that doesn't count. This is prettiness. We're doing it, some of it's aesthetics. And this is one of the things I was talking about, that it's very important when you are playing on new terrain that you take a minute before the game and talk about it with your opponent and determine what everything is going to be. This way you don't have any feels bad moments. You want to play a good competitive game of 40K. You want to make sure that everything's fair. So Lane's going to roll those shots out, and we'll come back to resolve the turn. All right, so Pioneers do what Pioneers do best, and they remove those 5 guys. But hey, I got my banner, so I'm happy-ish. But that's actually going to be quite a few points that Lane will score off that one little kill. Well, no, only 2. 2 for the aboard the witch.
Yeah, so it was 5 guys, 10 wounds. So it's technically 1 point for no prisoners.
Oh, there you go.
2 points for aboard the witch. I also killed something that was on an objective. So I took an objective I didn't hold. So that's 3 points in the bonus primary. And then I mentioned to DJ that these guys advanced, which comes into play with a defensive strat I may use in DJ's turn. So those spikes in the middle advance.
Awesome. All right. Well, speaking of my turn, let's go to it. Okay, so finishing the Great Up movement phase, we're going to come out and meet Lane at center. So the Terminators moved out to get on objective marker 6. And the other Terminators just kind of hung back. We're going to hold this objective and try and score some points off it, make it real nice and easy.
Apothecary came in there.
As far as, yep, that was moving over to the Deep Strike. I did bring the Apothecary in over there to give me a little bit of protection on that objective. And I brought in my Librarian and 2 5-man Interceptors over here because I want to make sure that I'm keeping Purifying Ritual rolling. And that's going to be it. So let's we're going to do a quick Psychic phase and then move over into shooting. Alrighty, so finishing out the Psychic phase, I only got one last thing to do. These Terminators at the center are really super buff. They got a 4-up invul now, and they're going to come rushing in there. I was not able to get the Empiric Amplification off. I tried to put it onto these guys so I could do a little bit of shooting these Pioneers back here against the wall. But, you know, I got a lot of other good Psychic powers off and some Purifying Rituals. So, and I was able to gate Senior Librarian. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to use, I spent the command point, so now I'm on the 3d6, and he is going to try to blast these Pioneers and hit them with some whatchamacallit, psychic
Wound?
mind bullets. Mind bullets, that's what I was looking for. Little mental magic. So first let's start with a Vortex of Doom. And 6, 7, 8. He will pass on an 8. So there's no one nearby, so no additional damage to those guys, but they will take 2d3 damage. So they will take 3, 4, plus 1, so they'll take 5 mortal wounds to start.
Why the +1?
Because of my Warlord Trike, Psychic Epitome.
Okay.
So that would do.
All damage is just +1?
All mortal wounds are +1. Okay. And now we'll go over to
So you did 5?
Yes. Purifying Flame is next. And that is a 9. Not quite enough to get the super one. So that's just going to be, 4 mortal wounds. So you're just going to take 4 because it's a flat 3 plus 1 more. So get a little bit of damage out of him. Gotta love it. So after Librarian was able to do some work and get a couple of the Pioneers off the table, I felt safe shooting with the Terminators to remove a few more. Got them down to just 2 bikes, and one of them only has 1 wound left. So I feel comfortable about being able to pick them up in the future. Don't really need to worry about them right now. They are a threat because their objective's secured, but that's where we stand. So now we're going to get into combat, and we're about to charge. And the first charge I'm going to declare is going to be with the Interceptors over there. Yes.
He tried really hard to roll for the Terminators first.
Lane was a good sport about it. And it's like, you sure you want to do that? You sure of that? But yes, no, I put the Interceptors in position to charge. So if Lane wants to Overwatch, there's a good chance can remove those Interceptors, but at least it'll soak up the Overwatch. Okay, so a lot of my Terminators are armed with a 2-handed weapon, so they're only 1 damage. And Lane had some good saves. I didn't have that great of hit rolls, so I did end up leaving 2 of the Pioneers alive in there. Pioneers struck back and were able to finish off the last of the Interceptor because they burnt away all the other 4 in the Overwatch, which is fine. That's fine. It's fine. I probably could have taken them if I pushed in a little more, but I wanted to string these guys back because I got the Apothecary hanging out nearby, so that their guys are on a 5-up, feel no pain. And then that's going to basically be the end of the turn. In the morale step, the Pioneers over here did fail their morale check, so he ended up losing 1 more guy out of there, but the other one stuck around. Mm-hmm. And they passed theirs. So for me, I'm going to score a 2 for the additional mission primary. I did score 8 for the turn for my primaries there. And I got 2 for banners at the beginning of my command phase. I got another 2 for purifying ritual for these back 2 objectives. And I did not get anything on teleport strike yet. All right, Lane, time to see what you can do. So the Votann were not very happy with my librarian and decided to bring his last 6 pioneers on board to answer to him, Mr. Mortal Wounds over here. And what else we got going on? You
Berserks came out to play.
Berserks are looking to charge. So that means you're not going to shoot at the Terminators at all. You're just going to charge with the Berserkers, right?
The Berserkers by themselves should be able to. No, I'm going to shoot with everything.
You were shooting you're pretty much like almost your entire army's going to be shooting at those Termies.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens over here. I want to kill that librarian with those pioneers that I brought in here.
Mm-hmm.
But Hecatons, Hearthguard Terminators, these bikes are going to go into them.
Both the Hecatons into those Termies.
Yeah, probably.
Right.
I'll see how the dice roll out.
Is that where you want to go first? Or do you want to do the Pioneers first?
No, I'm going to go into this first and see if I need to throw any extra shots over there.
Okay. So remember, we do have a lot of defense up on these Terminators right now. So the Terminators have a 4-up invuln, which won't matter against the Magna Rail. And they do have a 5-up feel no pain because they're close enough to the Apothecary. So let's see what we can make happen here. All right, Mr. Lane, who is shooting first?
I'm going to start with this little squad of jet bikes because they have a searchlight on them.
The remnants of 2. Okay.
Yep.
So you ignore my cover.
I ignore light
everything.
and dense cover
Yep.
because the searchlight and the scanner are the 2.
All right, cool. So let's see it.
Autocannon.
Currently at a 2. So 5s will up to 5s.
Roll the 1. Okay.
All right. And then
strike 7, so 3 is the wound.
Yep.
That's it. So you got 3. Let me just double check to see. Yes, you are within half range. So these are 3 at -2.
3 at -2.
2 damage apiece.
Okay. So 4 ups either way. You said how much damage? 2?
2 damage apiece.
All right. So first guy 5 ups, takes them both, and then the second guy will take them again, and he will die. So 1 down.
1 down. And then the shotguns are within range. And we'll get a shotgun. Oh, 5 auto wounds. 3, so you got 2 at -1.
2 at -1, so 3 ups. Take 1, damage 1.
Yep.
Feel no pains at all.
Okay.
All right,
I'm spending 1 CP after shooting something with a bike squad that has a searchlight on it.
So now I get a grudge token.
Then you get another judge token. So you're up to 3.
All right. Now who is next?
Yep. Okay, we'll go with this Hecaton with a Magna Rail into them.
All right, so
okay,
going
this
over that
Hecaton,
Hecaton.
yeah, he's going to shoot into them. I'm going to spend 1 CP so he re-rolls all of his hits.
Okay.
And do something with judgment tokens. I'm going to start with a Magna Rail. So hitting them on 3s. Start with a 2. You have full re-rolls there.
Yes,
Still the
I
2.
love it. All right, that's the one that was the one I was worried about vaporizing.
Bolt cannons.
Yes. Whew, Oh well, no. Oh yeah, because you put me
I
up
put
to
the
3.
extra ones.
Yes.
You're up to all the 4
So all
ups.
those are wounds.
Wounds.
AP.
AP is going to be 3 at this range. Okay.
And that's for the bolt
That
cannons.
was the reroll. Yeah, because they're AP2 and they're 40-inch range, so you're within 20 inches.
Wow.
So you're going to be at AP.
And you ignore cover with those things too, as well.
And these are strength 6, so they're going to be 3 to wound you. There we go. So you got 11 wounds and -3, 2 damage apiece.
8, 10. All right, so I am on a 4-up invuln because of Sanctuary.
Sure. No, you made a bunch of them.
Yes, I did. So we'll take those out already. And so I will fail those. And how much damage?
These are 2 apiece.
2 apiece? All right. So
you can do 4.
Yes. So the first guy will take 4 feel no pains. And
he's still alive.
Stop. Yep. So he's alive. So he'll take the last 2. He's alive with 1 wound. And
now he's dead. And then you got 1 more.
That was it.
It was 4.
Oh, I did. Fail 4. Okay. Sorry.
He's fine.
Yeah, I guess he's fine. See? Can't change the facts. And you have more shooting coming off of him?
Yeah, then the autocannon is within 14 inches.
This little purple dice over here I'm using for you guys watching, that you can see how many Terminators have actually died from the squad.
Okay, so we've only got
2 are dead,
so
2 out of the 10.
Autocannons, full re-roll.
Wound.
Auto wounds. Strength 7, so okay, there you go. We got 6.
6 AP.
Yeah, 6 at neg 3. 2 damage
3,
apiece.
so back up. So still in the 4 up, and this is 2 damage, you said?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so stopping right on odds. These are 2 damage apiece, and we're on fresh guys. So the first guy will take 2 of the hits for 4, and he'll only stop 1, so he'll die even on numbers. And then one guy will take the next 2, and he'll take them both. So we're losing another guy, and one guy goes down to 1 wound remaining. Okay.
All right. All right, so I'm going to shoot with my call. She's got 4 shots for their bolter. It's going to be AP2 at this range, so it's possible she might
finish that guy
off.
Might
finish a guy off. So only 1 auto wound, but those all hit. Strength 4 to T4, so 4's to wound. You just got the 1, but neg 2, 1 damage.
All right.
Oh,
fails it.
5 up.
1 damage, you said?
Yep.
Nope. And he'll take him out.
Good
no, she got her. She got him.
Yeah, picks him up.
So it goes down to, so that's 4 dead. All right, so now we're doing the hecaton, the second hecaton, I should say.
Yeah, SP conversion beamer on this one. This guy has the +1 to hit, so he's got 2 shots, more than 15 inches away, so each hit counts as 2. I'm doing the mortal wound strat, so each hit also counts as a mortal wound.
Got it. And
that's for free because the Forge Master reduces that by 1.
Let's do it.
Hitting on 2s. Okay, 2 hits. Both of those are auto wounds. That counts as 4 hits. I do have to roll to wound with the other shots, though. So 2 auto wounds, 4 mortal wounds, and then these will be 2s to wound because it's strength 8 against T4. Oh, so you got 3 wounds, AP 3, flat 4 damage apiece.
All right, so first those 3, so 4 up invuln. I'll stop 2 of them. And you said flat 4 damage?
Yep.
All right, so one guy is going to take 4 damage.
Yep.
He's going to take 0.
Oh.
That's a
You dirty.
That's spicy. That's spicy.
Dirty,
right
dirty
there.
pool. This is a dirty game.
And then you do
4 mortals.
4 mortals to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So once again. All right. So I'll take 1, so I lose 1 guy. So we'll go down.
You take 3.
I'm sorry. I stopped 1. I lose 1.
You stop 1.
I said hey, listen. I said the second part right, so I wasn't cheating. All
right.
right. So now you got the rest of the hecaton. Yep. Down to 5. Man, these guys are not doing too bad to hold up against this much firepower.
1s hitting on 2s. 4, 5, 6 is auto wounds, and then these would be 3s to wounds. They're strength 6. So you only got 7 this time. Is in half range, so you got neg 3.
Okay, so we're going to stop 3 of them. These are 1
These
damage.
Are 2 damage.
These are 2 damage apiece.
All
right, so
you got a fresh guy, so you can take 2.
Fresh guy is going to take the first 2 hits, which is 4, and he'll stop 2. So then we'll take another 1 out of there.
Yep,
and he'll stop 1 of those, so he's dead, and then there's still 1. So that's going to be, and that's 1 damage. So 1 guy goes to 2 wounds, and we lose another Terminator going down to, so that's 6. So there's 4 left.
Okay, and then we've got the autocannon. And hitting on 2s, 4, 5, 6 is auto wound. Strength 7, so 3 is the wound. You just got 3. These are neg 2 because they're not within half range.
Okay,
3 and
neg 2 is still going to be the
still
4.
4 up in ball. I guess it doesn't really matter.
All right, so I'll stop 1 damage.
These are 2 apiece.
These are 2 apiece. All right, so first 1. I won't stop any, so that'll finish off a guy. And now it's on to the second one goes on to a fresh guy. And won't stop any of those, so he goes down to 1 wound. All righty. Anything else from the hecaton?
No.
Okay. All right, so last unit to shoot at the Terminators, other than, Mr. Crab Gun, they got out of your thing. You got the Hearthguard.
Yeah, now, because of the way you pulled them, the one in the back actually is not in range, so just 4 of the guys are going to be getting shots. These are the mortal wound doing ones, so these are, 6s to hit, do mortals. They got full rerolls. Good things.
6s.
No 6s.
Oh, you had 2, 4. Wait, do you want?
I'm just fishing.
You're just fishing? Okay.
These are AP nothing, so I might as well fish.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
I'll only pick up 1.
And
these are strength 5, so they're going to be 3s to wound within their. Okay, so you got 4 2-ups, and then you take 1 mortal.
Okay, so here is my 2-up saves.
Oh, you did 1 for me.
Take 1, and it's 1 damage each.
I
got a guy with 1 wound left. I have 2 CP, so I will spend a CP on a reroll. Okay, he lives.
And then you take the mortal.
And then I take a mortal. And he'll take that, and that'll kill him. So
Okay.
we're down to 2 Terminators. And that's it for shooting at the Termies.
Nope, it's not.
No, it's not. We have one more.
No, they also have their grenade launchers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they get those 4d6 shots.
Okay.
So there's that.
And these are also AP 0.
These are AP 1, strength 4. So we'll, we might pick a couple wounds off of here. Okay, they have the full rerolls. And we might as well just fish for them. Those are all auto wounds.
You know what? I should have just taken that damage and not CP
gonna be
rerolled
4.
that. You mind if I take that back? Now that I look at the numbers, I screwed up. Can I just take the damage on him?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a guy. Thank you, Lane. So we have a guy that's got 2 wounds.
You want to auto pass that leadership, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was all
If I
excited there for a
survive.
minute.
Yes.
That's a bunch here. You got 11 at -1, 1 damage apiece.
8, 9, 10, 11. These are all AP1, you said?
Yeah.
3 ups.
3 ups.
So I'll fail 3, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 1 damage, you said?
Yeah, yep.
All right. So doesn't matter. I can do them all. And I'll stop 2 of them. So I'll take 1 damage. So that guy goes down to 1 wound. Okay.
3 shots from the grav rifle from the Forge Master.
Stop it already.
Electric.
Yes, that's how you stop.
I guess I stopped it.
Yes, exactly. See, the game is even telling you to stop.
Okay.
Are we done shooting at the Terminators now?
Yeah, I got to shoot your librarian. I think
Nice.
I'll try to charge him with berserks. Let me see what my charge is first before I decide.
So after the Terminators take on the world, 2 remain, 1 guy with a wound left, and they're still standing, not strong, but standing.
They're there.
And then over here, the Pioneers, that librarian with the Cures of Sacrifice actually did give him some trouble. I mean, he was...
it took a lot of hits, yeah.
Yeah, how many... I mean, when you have, like, rolling to try and whittle down the dice...
You had
as
some
we
hot
saw for the
things, too.
Yeah, as we saw for the... Yes, I did. But as we saw for the Terminators, more time you roll the dice, the more protection you get. So now we're going to move into the charge step, and we're looking at the Berserks are going to attempt to charge the Paladins, or Paladins, Terminators.
Yeah.
So needing a 7.
Need a 7. I get free rerolls in my charges with the Berserk, so that's an 8.
Yep.
We get there.
All right. So Lane, why don't you tell us what these 2 piles of dice are?
I was going to spend a CP to reroll all my hits into the Terminators. You only had 4 total wounds left on those Terminators. And my squad of Berserks gets 32 swings with their sweep profile. But I was going to spend the 1 CP to reroll all hits, and I was super confident that I wouldn't need it. I did the math in my head. Definitely checks out that I killed those Terminators easily. However, on 32 dice, I had 17 1s and 2s on my hit roll. So more than half of the rolls were 1s and 2s.
However.
After the wounds and after your saves, exactly 4 wounds got through, and you failed every single one of the feel no pain.
Yes.
So I killed those Terminators down to the wound, the very wound.
Yes.
Oh, that's close.
So now we're ending your turn. So at the end of your turn, you will score 3 points on the mission primary, because not only did you take the objective, but you killed the unit that was on it. You're actually going to score 5 points on Abhor the Witch, 3 for the Librarian, and 2 for the Terminators.
Yeah, 5 on Abhor.
Yes.
And actually, I got 2 for finishing off them.
But that was
your
last.
turn.
That was
your turn.
Yeah, that was my turn. Yes.
So technically, that's going to be 7 total for this turn. No prisoners. I picked up the Terminator, so that was 30 wounds there. Didn't do any additional damage to any other infantry this turn. So I got the 3 for Assassinate for killing a character. And I guess 3 this turn for no prisoners. So we are at 30.
So time for the Grey Knights to do their thing. So finishing off the Grey Knight movement phase, we did a lot here. So these Interceptors came in, and they were actually on top of the building right now. I'm going to try and pull their little psychic trick where they can shoot and move to try and do some damage and take out these guys. We also moved Drago and the Interceptors up. Drago dropped the banner, so he's still going to be able to cast some psychic powers. And the Interceptors are going to try and do the Purifying Ritual over there. And my Terminators that came out. They're looking at a 7-inch charge on the Berserkers, so probably not going to shoot at them, so I can make sure to keep that at a 7. And these interceptors back here pulled back so I could cover the field, but they're still on the objective to be able to do Purifying Ritual. And Mr. Libby popped out. He's going to try and do some Psychic Trickery. He's going to be the last thing I do for some Psychic Trickery to try and pick up some of these Pioneers. So it's going to be an intense Psychic phase. Had a lot of dice roll and stuff. I will roll this one off camera today since we did that big defensive turn. So I want to try and not make the video too long. But we will talk about how the Psychic phase played out shortly. Okay, in a very unorthodox fashion, I'm going to make this very quick. I passed every single Psychic power that I casted this turn. So what happened was I cast Purifying Ritual in the center with the interceptors that were there. Then I casted, let's go with this in order. These interceptors cast their shoot move Psychic power. So they shot at those guys up there, finished them off for the teleport strike since they deep struck. Then they bounced back to hide. They got a grudge token for killing a guy. The apothecary underneath here cast Purifying Ritual successfully. These Terminators passed the Brotherhood Psychic power so they could get the Feel No Pain buff. Drago, who dropped the banner, casted the Warp Shaping. So now I have the charge buff, so any 1s or 2s on my charge roll will automatically become 3s so that I get a little bit safer on this charge that I'm trying to make. The Apothecary casted the Feel No Pain, so our 4-up invuln on the Terminator, so now the Terminators are sanctuaried with a 4-up. These guys back here casted Purifying Ritual on the center objective, and then Drago casted Gate on them after they passed the Purifying Ritual to go back here and hide behind the wall so I can use them later in the game on possible Purifying Rituals. Then, over here, these guys drop back to do Purifying Ritual and gain their first Grudge token. So we got Grudge over here, Grudge over here, Grudging over here, Grudging over here. Everything has a Grudge token except for Mr. Librarian back over here, who is able to pick off 2 of the bikes with his Psychic power, as well as leave 1 with 1 wound remaining. Literally failing 0 Psychic powers this turn. Let's go into the shooting phase, if I even have one. I don't think I'm really going to do that much. I might just spray some shots into the Hecaton because I can. So after the Terminator's got a big 12 on their charge, no rerolls needed there, they cleared the Berserks with ease. Berserks fighting on death were able to take 1 of the Terminators down and drop 1 guy to a wound. So that's going to end my turn right there. I will get a 5 for the Teleport Strike thanks to the Interceptors dropping in. I get a 4 for Purifying Ritual for the 3 objectives that I got, 4, 6, and what's that one over there, 2? Is that objective marker 2 in the
2
over there? Yep. Okay, and I got 2 points for banners due to the 2 that I have up, and I just put another one up. And as you saw, Lane just shifted over this Grudge token. This is the unit on the objective. At the end of the turn, he's going to grudge him up to 2.
Oh, yeah, leadership on the bikes.
Oh, leadership on the bikes, though. Let's see it. Yeah, they're good. Okay, so now we will move over to Lane's turn and see how the Votann can answer back. All right, so Lane's getting squirrely and moving some guys around the field. That's something that I wasn't sure he could do. I didn't know these Hecatons could drive. I thought they just stayed in one place.
I mean, sometimes they do. Yeah, so we move things around. I didn't really want to go all in on the Terminators, but I think I'm going to have to. So that's what we're doing.
Just because they got that center point.
Yeah,
you're doing good to keep the score with me, and if you give me that 12 on primary, that might be...
Yeah.
That's what you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
And cute little stratagem you found.
I've never used it before. I have a stratagem called Outflanking Pioneers. I can fly Pioneers off the table. So I took the 1 lone Pioneer here off the table. I still hold this objective because it's a sticky objective mission, and the Pioneers are OPSEC. But he is in reserves now. And
which
because
means he comes back on 5.
Yeah, because I went second, I can bring him back on turn 5, and DJ won't be able to deep strike and teleport strike and get him.
Alrighty, making it a little rough on me. Still got some other options on the table. I'm got my Grey Knight Trickery, so we're gonna go over into the shooting phase and see how that happens. All right, so to start off Lane's shooting phase, he fired the conversion beamer at my librarian who was hanging out here. I could have jumped away, but I chose not to because I wanted to soak up that conversion beamer off that Hecaton to keep some Terminators alive. And it was actually, I don't know if that was the play or not, but at the end of it all, after the remainder of the 2 Hecatons shot, and the Hearthguard, and the Pioneers, and everything went into the Terminators, 1 Terminator still stands. And this is after failing morale, but he didn't run away. So we do keep 1 Terminator alive, and that might be critical because he's objective secured, and I can put 1 back with the Apothecary. I did have the command points to auto-pass the morale. I chose not to. We'll see if that hurts me in the end. But Lane, where are you at for some of these secondaries? Like, you've been murdering my army. So
I mean, I picked up a character this
you did.
turn.
That kill was 6 points.
Yeah, I was aboard the witch and an assassinate, and then I killed 27 wounds of Terminators. So that's helpful. And that's really it. I didn't get any of the bonus primaries this turn because I didn't kill anything that was on an objective, and I didn't take one. So we'll see what happens next.
All right, let's go into the Grey Knight movement phase. So, ending the Grey Knight movement phase, we're going to have to, they still got some work to do. This is still a tight game. Lane's up by a couple of points, so I need to remove some stuff. So, I spent a command point after moving the Apothecary up to bring 1 of the Terminators back. So now they're at 2, and we're getting ready to go after these Hearthguard. Over here, I jumped these Interceptors out here so they're close enough so Drago can possibly hit them with the Gate of Infinity to try and get some teleport strike points. And these Interceptors came out, and they're going to try and throw some damage over here and see if we can't pick up these Pioneers. Over here, realizing that Lane and his Hecaton could move into my my home objective, I decided to get aggressive with the Halberds, and we'll see if they can't do some damage to that Hecaton. So here comes the Psychic phase. Okay, so end of the Psychic phase. The 3 objectives that I've been hitting on Purifying Ritual all game, I was able to successfully do. Did have a couple of fails in there, so good thing I had some backups on those objectives. I Empiric Amplified the Hecaton over here, spent some CP to make it happen. So now he is going to be, my Nemesis weapons when I charge will be 3 damage instead of 2. Don't know if that's going to matter fully, but will help. I went for the 3d6 roll as well with Drago so that I could move these Interceptors with a gate. They just kind of wiggled. Hopefully that'll help me to be able to get the teleport strike off. And those Interceptors in the background of 4-up invuln. And that's really about it. So we're going to go over to kind of a lightweight lame shooting phase. Aside from these guys over here, this is one of the only ones that really kind of matters with, thank you, Lane, trying to remove these guys with the Psy Cannons and the Bolters. All right, so finishing off the Grey Knight charge step. So into the shooting phase, we really didn't do that much. I was able to kill like 1 or 2 Hearthguard off, and I failed for the Purifying Ritual or the Teleport Strike kill over here with the Interceptors. So we went and tried and charged. And to resolve it all, we did not get the Teleport Strike because I was not able to finish off the squad over here. But that's okay because we did a lot of other work in other places, such as we successfully charged with the Terminators and Drago, and with the Terminators being objective secured, I will take his home field objective away from him. Over here, we charged Lane's Hecaton just to hold it up. We dropped it down to 4 wounds, thanks to the Empiric Amplification, which, honestly, all I really wanted to do was just to stop the Hecaton from being able to move up onto Objective Marker 2, because it could have contested that, and that's what I wanted to avoid. So for the turn, I was able to still score pretty good with like the Purifying Ritual and stuff, and we'll have to see how Lane can answer back, because we're kind of holding some stuff away. All right, Lane, so dropping the Hecaton back, and where'd the Hearthguard go?
They use their free teleport thing from their relic to teleport.
To get out of dodge so you can shoot some Dragos, shoot some Termies.
That's the plan.
All right, so yeah, that's that's really kind of mostly what's going on, that it seems like. The Pioneer stayed in combat so that I can eliminate him now and not be able to get teleport strike points. Lane's trying to mitigate how much I get on that one. It's interesting to see that too, and something to think about. It's like, I beat those guys up, but I can't score those points. And over here, the Hecaton decided to stay in combat just to there's no point in falling back since you can't fall back and shoot. Try and remove some of those guys before he gets taken out. He's only got 4 wounds left, and he's still under the effects of empiric amplification. So hopefully, I might be able to remove him. And we'll see how this all goes down as the Votann are about to shoot. And, well, Drago, may your shield be true. Okay, so finishing off the Votann turn, and he was able to clear me out of the backfield. Drago went away. Silly.
It's finishing the Votann shooting. We still not the finishing.
Oh,
the turn,
yeah. Finishing the shooting. Sorry, silly conversion beamer over here. I hate that gun. Oh my gosh! It doesn't matter what army I'm playing. That conversion beamer is the bane of my existence.
Gets the work done. Put a couple wounds on him.
Yes. Terminators are gone as well too. They got removed. I figured that was going to happen, but they made their push. And lost 5 of the interceptors. So I got 4 left in combat over there with the Hecaton. Hopefully that's going to be enough to finish it off. It's only got 4 wounds left. So we'll move on to the combat step. Are you going to charge me anywhere? Or are we just going to be doing the...
I don't
nope. So, all right. So we're just going to be resolving these combats. Okay. So the end of the Votann turn, the interceptors lost 5. They were not able to finish off the Hecaton. He was able to save both. I do have a strat to be able to get out of combat and make stuff happen over there. So we'll see how that goes. And the last of the Pioneer on this one did die to the interceptors in combat after finishing off the guy with 1 wound. So for the Votann, you got scored a bunch of points this turn because you got Drago was worth 6 again for being a psyker
7,
as well as
he's your warlord.
Do you get that? It does that a bonus point as well for assassinate.
It's 4 for assassinate, and 3
not
for
abhor
the witch.
Yeah, just that. So 7. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you've scored a lot of points. This is going to be tight. So we'll see how this finishes out with the Grey Knights going into turn 5. All right, so we kind of condensed everything to get it all set up because there wasn't too much that went on. Was able to use the interceptor strat to fall back and still charge. So I fell back with the interceptors. They just ran right back into the Hecaton, actually losing a guy in the Overwatch. We're able to score 1 hit through, did 2 damage to him, but didn't really matter. It was a shot. I was able to at least get the Purifying Ritual off with them. So I was maxing Purifying Ritual this turn as we move across it. And more or less just stop the Hecaton from being able to move up onto my objective next turn. Still cast Purifying in the center to get that. The Apothecary also healed himself. And then over here, we charged into the Hearthguard. I spent 2 command points on the shut move to try to get these guys to score my teleport strike. Unfortunately, it did not happen. So we just charged into the Hearthguard. We're able to take 1 down and take the objective from him, but he will score his primary at the end of the turn. Lane, what do you got going on? We really got a lot going on?
Not a whole lot, but going to try to
score some points, get some last minute little points out there. All right, let's see what you can do. So Votann finished up turn 5 doing what Votann do. He was able to clear out the interceptors that were all over here, so that was quite a few aboard the witch points. The Apothecary got shot down in the center by his Forge Master. And over here, we stay in combat for the rest of the game with the interceptors, even though he was able to still punk 2 of them real easily. It will be a 8 on primary because I still technically control more. And
3 on the bonus primary because I killed something on objective and took 1 back.
You did.
I
think we should tally up the score and come back with the total. All right, final score: Votann 92, Grey Knights 88.
It was the home field advantage. I brought my train. That means I get to win. I think that's the way it works.
Now, there is one thing that I want to touch base with on this because we were talking about this afterwards. That's a 4-point swing. And looking at the end of the game, typically when I'm at a tournament, I will have the score going on my phone and I can watch these things. And while trying to record the game and do a lot of this stuff, sometimes a score goes to wayside. This was a prime example where the loss of the game, all I needed to do was take the knee. I did not need to push on objective marker 1 to try to, cap that out. I had the Purifying Ritual at home for the maximum points. The teleport strike wasn't necessary. All I needed to do was sit at home and take the knee.
Yeah, I really throttled my score in the last turn there just by picking up more no prisoner points because I wiped like 12 or 13 interceptor
That was
guys.
That's 4 points for each of the 2 units that was
Yeah.
eliminated, and then that's that 4-point swing where I could have just stayed back, held back, and had that happen, and that would have been a much safer position to be in.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, this is the very first time I played this list,
Right?
and this is not the very first time you've played this Votann list.
No, I've got some experience. Right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Game or 2 or 20 or 50 or 60.
Yeah, it's around 80 now at this point.
So ultimately, realistically, looking at the end of the game, I do feel like looking into the score, if I was in a competitive setting, that should have, could have, and would have probably been a Grey Knight W.
Yeah. And to clarify, when we play, what DJ was saying about scores, I keep track of the score, and he's focused more on recording.
Yes.
He was saying that, and I keep track on paper. If you were keeping track on your app during a regular tournament game, you'd have a running total of the score
and know when to fall back and when to take that knee.
Yeah.
Now, not to take anything away with Lane in this game, because still, like, a couple of things. One, this is the first time I'm playing this roster. Number one. Number two, there's a couple little tweaks and changes I want to make to this. Number three, it's really tough when I'm allowing Votann just to sit back and shoot at me and just literally just unload payload after payload into me over and over again against the course of the game. So with that all that stuff being said, all that stuff being resolved, I don't want it to seem like I'm coming across like, oh, I should have won that, this and the other. The reason I'm saying something about that is always, before you start pushing to the objectives late, and this is a learning experience into that, make sure, take a second and look at the score. See where you stand. What can you score? Don't go pushing into a secondary that you have 14 points on and then end up scoring to 17, but then you stop at 15. Take a second and look at that and realize where the score is. Had I stayed back on objective marker 4 and just held the corners, we would have been looking into more of a draw situation, or potentially a Grey Knight victory, which would have been a Grey Knight victory with the list that I literally just built like a week and a half ago. And this is the first test. So out the gate with a test of this list, what did you think of it?
I thought it was real strong. And like I said, I had moved my Pioneers into the middle early in the game to kind of draw you out. Otherwise, I was going to outscore your primaries. If you had not come out, just your score would be pretty impressive. You kind of could have waited till the end, maybe done a little bit of damage to me. That way, later in the game, the teleport strike would have been make more sense if there was a bike squad with maybe 2 squads, 2 bikes left in it.
Yes, there's that. And oh, hey, wait a minute, what happened to that last Pioneer?
What's that? The one that ran away?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't bring him back on the table. Yeah.
Oh, I guess he dies.
Yeah.
I don't get any points for him, though.
He dies, but you didn't kill him.
But he died. He died. But no, yeah, I don't want it to come across as if like I'm like whining or complaining about this.
Oh yeah.
But it is definitely a learning experience where you got to stop. You got to look at those things and see where it was. And we did check it, and I did calculate into it, and I thought, okay, purifying ritual, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I shouldn't have been purifying ritual on this side of the field. I should have just kept to my game, done what I was supposed to be doing. My army plays more reserved. I got a little ahead of myself. One, it's getting really, really late. We're trying to push through it. And I got a little bit ahead of myself in there. Now, aside from that, I need to look at some tweaks on some different weapon outputs. Maybe I might drop some of the Terminators down to a 9-man just to bring some other stuff in there. I did like the double apothecary. All in all, I'm kind of a fan of the list. I'm not sure I'm ready to take that to a GT, though. I think there's too much fine details to it, but definitely wouldn't mind throwing it on the table again. This was definitely a poor matchup for me. Where
oh no, I was primed. And from our introduction, I was thinking I was going to have a solid 20-25 point win.
Punch.
Yeah, but that 5-up feel no pain on the Terminator squads from that apothecary psychic power is huge. It just reduced my damage output, and you were rolling pretty hot on the 5-up feel no pains. But it reduced my damage output.
Oh yeah,
so the only thing I could do was go into Terminators with my entire army, and
my Terminators were just nasty on the saves. Off camera, my Terminator saves and feel no pains were just nasty. But one of the things is with those, with the Terminators, with the feel no pain, with all that stuff, it's just continuously rolling the dice. And the more time you pick up the dice, the more time you roll them, the more chances you have that those dice are going to fall in your favor.
Yeah.
And that's basically what it was. Oh, I have an invuln. Okay, now I have feel no pain, and just keep chucking dice until they fall where I go. So yeah, I mean, I'm not disappointed with the Army's performance at all.
No, it did real well. Like I said,
need
this
some
game
tweaks.
this game was definitely in my favor from the beginning, and I think the fact that it was only a 4-point win, that's so close. Any dice roll anywhere could have made a difference. A single dice roll could have made a difference. Anywhere, so.
Disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in myself because I know better than that. I know better than to overcommit and overdedicate and push through like that. And that was the opportunity that I had to take the knee, to just chill and let it happen that way. But that's nice to see that this Army was able to get in that position where I could take the knee and call it at that late into the game. So I need to look at some things, look at some numbers, look at some tweaks, abhor the witch, no prisoners, all those things, and see if I can't just dial those back just a little bit, because you're not going to be the only person who could sit back and fire me. Tau can do a similar thing, and I do not want to see that happen. Again, though, your Votann, just because we're talking a lot about Grey Knights right now, I mean, they were definitely the highlight. This was a very, very surprising to see this list come out the gate like that and be able to do that stuff. I'm very happy with it. I get to use Terminators, which are super cool, and very defensive. The Feel No Pain was great, but looking at the Votann, I mean, your list is tried and true. It's got that. It's just very, very reliable, and you're able to do. You're able to hit, you're able to kill, you're able to remove. And man, I hate that conversion beamer. I hate that thing so much. That thing has just been every Army bane of my existence.
Well, it had to pop off this game because the Magna Rail didn't do very much this game. It was consistently missing. So at least one of those big guns did some work.
Yes. So real quick, Lane, before we go and call this a game, between the two lists, the Grey Knights and the Necrons, which one do you think I should be bringing to the Berg?
I feel like the Necrons is probably your better option. This one it was very impressive, though. I don't know how you do against other Psyker armies that might be able to throw, or any army that has more denies would make your psychic powers more difficult, because you failed maybe 1 or 2 psychic powers the entire.
It was nice to pull away from all those expensive powers, the high ones, and just keep it basic, keep it simple. I had the command points. That felt very clean. It felt a lot nicer. Granted, I had some awesome psychic phases where I didn't need to, but I had the command points in my reserve. I had the reserve that I could have used them to make the re-rolls and to force stuff through, so that was nice. But yeah, I think this needs a little more time. I think Necrons, I just seen so many scenarios with them, and I think that'll be the next one to test it out in this scenario. And you have not, as many Necron armies as you have not faced my Harvest in a very, very, very long time.
I don't think with my current Votann list with the 18 bikes. I think last time I played it, I had the infantry in there. I'm not sure.
Time for my spiders getting hungry.
Yeah. We'll have to
see. Excellent. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. Again, I'm super happy about the performance of this list. I'm very happy with how everything worked out well. The only reason I'm emphasizing the shoulda, coulda, woulda is to help you guys see those scenarios where you look at that. You need take that second and look at that score sheet. Always make sure that you have that some way of tracking it. I typically use an app to try and keep track of it, because it's a prime example where that could have been a W. But honestly, this is a time where this is a moral victory for what I've been doing with Grey Knights.
Yeah, it's a win in terms of what you learned.
Yeah, I think that this is time to. I think I need to run this into some Space Marines, some Dark Angels, and see what I can do into something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man. Thanks again. No, we're knuckle bumping. I'm knuckle bumping. Gotta keep it real.
Sure.
Guys, thanks as always for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again soon.